Do I really have time to get my ass handed to me for 80 hours just to learn the fundamentals?
Listen, I'm still praying.
It's free. It's literally free.
Hits the nail on the head every single time.
Life is so stressful. Just sit down and play a cozy game.
Phantom Liberty looks insane.
They just fixed the game. That's not ongoing. They just fixed
High
the
five.
game.
How is a Crazy Taxi movie gonna look like, dude? Like, okay.
Should have won.
All right, cool. Tell me
Should've
more.
won.
Tell me more. It's that time of year again where we give awards to some of the greatest games of the year. Some games given awards that make us go, what? And a few disagreements to be had. The Game Awards of 2023 just happened, and I'm joined by 3 special guests. To my left, we have Mav. And Mav, I'm going to call you my variety games expert.
Yes. I'm not good at any game. I'm okay, so that's why I'm kind of variety.
Yeah.
I cover like two games a day, so I feel like I know kind of what's going on, what will be doing good, but it just gets annoying when I find out that games that I find aren't being released for like 5 years, so it's quite annoying.
To my right, we have Nate, who is an esports doer. You play games very well.
Yeah, I'm again, as weird as it is to say, I'm a multi-sport athlete. I've played a couple of games to a professional level, and outside of that, I dabble with some variety games. So,
You're a bit of a try-hard then.
bit too much, yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. One person that doesn't try hard, or he does try hard, but he doesn't get anywhere, is our lovely killer Pigeon over here, aka KP. He's an esports caster, but very skilled in his own right, I have to say.
Oh, thank you, Rach. I like that. That was an insult-pliment, you know, where you compliment an insult. Beautifully done.
Right, so I want to kick things off straight away on the same lines as esports. So, as we all know, Valorant won a Best Esports Game of 2023. Valorant, an extremely good game in its own right, having taken some origins from Counter-Strike, I believe. But KP, you prefer CS2, don't you?
Valorant is a great game. I'm not disputing that. I play it. I love it as well. But I almost feel like the race was starting, and just as the gunshot goes off, Counter-Strike shot themselves in the leg, right? Because it's almost like CS2 has a lot of issues to work out.
Yeah.
If it was still CSGO, I genuinely think it would have just ran away with that award, because in terms of esports scenes, I don't think anything really comes close to what they've done right now.
Okay, well, I think that maybe League of Legends might have taken the top spot. Nate, you dabbled a bit in
agree.
professional league, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
This year, I would 100% say that League dominated the esports scene. At least Worlds. I feel like League should have taken it.
I'm surprised that Fortnite wasn't on there as a nominated. But
Why?
Fortnite, esports, right?
Fortnite's not an
You sound like
esport.
the person who just walked
It
into a
could
meeting
be.
with an idea.
Yeah. That meme where that person's like, hey, what about this? That's literally.
Wait, Fortnite is definitely an esports.
Well, yeah, but
110%.
Like, it
yeah,
is,
but
but
it's
it's-
going like this, for
Yeah.
years now, right?
It's like if PUBG tried. It's like if a Gen Z version of PUBG tried to be an esport.
I don't know enough to talk about, the
Esports.
esports games. But from that side's point of view, I'm very not surprised that Valorant won. I think it's a very good point about CS2 changing name didn't help. I don't know, yes, what CS did was really good in terms of building up their own. They had no help at all. But ultimately, Valorant stole the scene. You couldn't, and I think one of the things that I love is the culture push, and I feel like CS hasn't really pushed the culture too much in terms of what Valorant did when you couldn't even go on TikTok, you could even go on any platform, and it was all Valorant. You had people not playing Valorant. I wanted to play Valorant, and I did, and I hated it, and I came off it. But from an outsider's point of view, who has no esports knowledge, I have to say that out of all those games, and I've got 4,000 hours in Dota, Valorant, you can't not see the word Valorant. Without
I mean, I think it's, at least in regards to Valorant versus CS, I think, and it might be a bit controversial to say, I think CS has got a bit lost in the times in comparison to Valorant.
Do you think Fortnite helped Valorant because of the color schemes? Obviously, it's basically just it's just a colorful CS:GO, and obviously it's a little bit more appealing to younger.
I feel like Overwatch did more for Valorant
that's
than
true,
Fortnite might have.
One of the best decisions I think ever made in gaming is to call the bomb a spike. not a bomb, because
Yeah.
obviously like that
Spike planet.
and I've
Language.
argued that Rainbow Six Siege should cut all of the stuff down from an 18 and make it a PG for it to grow. And I got hated on by the entire Siege community. It was not good. And I was like, look, it's just not your game. But I was like, look, at the end of the day, that really helped it grow like a little bit more. And I think that's why maybe it edged over CS:GO. Is it's a little bit more family friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Valorant, and obviously, like if you're like a parent, if your kid is playing either Valorant or CS:GO, you're going to probably choose Valorant because it's a bit more mystical. CS:GO is a little bit realistic, to some people.
I mean, it's one of the things I said before when we were talking was Valorant is like CS and Overwatch had a baby,
Yes.
Yeah.
and
100%.
it caters to that younger audience as well as the audience who prefer like the CS:GO style of play, because you until you start getting up there, you don't really get punished for only knowing the fundamentals of an FPS. Like, if you can click ahead, you can click ahead.
So how are we feeling? Do we think that Valorant deserves the best esports title, or are we still indecisive about it?
From a spike in growth, darn it. Yes, like it grew ridiculously fast in the last few years. For consistency and longevity, I would put CS there. But like in terms of the performance at the moment, I think that hits because to what we were talking about, where you thought like Worlds was better.
Yeah.
That's one event. If you talk about the progress of the entire scene, I think CS is still doing more overall. But like, come on, chill, bro. It's like putting a 14-year-old in a fight with a 3-year-old,
Yeah,
right?
for
Like,
sure.
who's clearly going to?
I mean, but I think at least in that regard, it's like CS2 is very fresh as well. So if we're looking at just the year alone, rather than the growth,
you see all the bugs,
beforehand,
Yeah, it
right?
is.
you see like CS is very fresh, so therefore it's going to have a spike in its growth.
Yeah.
Me next.
You got one? Spike. Yeah.
Yeah, but CS is new, so of course, if there's nothing before, it's going to show a large amount of growth because it's coming from CS:GO. So that growth is going to look a lot more exponential than it possibly is.
Oh, I'm saying it in reverse, where
Oh,
it's like
okay.
because Counter-Strike 2 it's a different name, but it is a continuance, right? Whereas Valorant, like if you talk about the timeline, right, it's this long for CS and it's like this long for Valorant, so it's more impressive for them to hit this. Even if I'd say CS like is maybe a bit higher, but it's taken them much longer, right? You've got to respect that huge spike.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, we're just gonna have a spike counter.
So I feel like we spiked that conversation to new levels, but I want to smoke that out a little bit and move on to best ongoing game. So Cyberpunk 2077 won the best ongoing game due to the new Phantom Liberty DLC that got released later on in this year, which shows Cyberpunk in a whole new light. Obviously, you take the role of protagonist V once again and head into Cyberpunk. But it didn't seem like Cyberpunk was a winner for a few of us. Mav,
No.
how are you feeling?
They just fixed the game. That's not ongoing. They just fixed
High
the
five.
game. They just fixed the game, dude.
I was literally just about to say, are we really in the process of giving out good job rewards for doing your basic job?
Yeah.
It just sets a weird precedent because now games can if like Cyberpunk has shown that when a game is released, you can still make loads of money if it's bad, and then you can just like fix it in a year and then win an award for it. Like the DLC is great. I love all of the. I've played half an hour of Cyberpunk. It's one of those games I really want to play it, but I just don't think I have the time. But I've enjoyed watching it. But winning ongoing, I mean, look at No Man's Sky, look at Fortnite, I mean, it's a bit in the mud now, but Apex, like a lot of those have actually been pushing it a lot more forward. But Cyberpunk just released a few bug fixes, and they were like, "Give us the award right now."
One thing that really bugged me, and I mean, I'm holding my hands up. I'm a World of Warcraft player, so it pains me to say, but Final Fantasy was on the list, and it wasn't even considered. I don't understand.
So was Fortnite. Fortnite was on that list as well.
Fortnite
I don't understand how Cyberpunk beats out Fortnite and Final Fantasy. Like that category was a very weird one for me because it was like you had Fortnite, which kind of like outside of PUBG and I can't remember, maybe Daisy, like they kind of pioneered that genre where they made it family friendly. Everyone loved it. They're doing phenomenal. And then you've got Final Fantasy, which again statistically is doing much better than not Final Fantasy, Cyberpunk. And then Cyberpunk, to be brutally honest, it's just a neon lit GTA.
Yeah.
Like, they fixed a lot of the issues and the story got significantly better in 2077. But it's still just a rehash, in my opinion.
I have to give it to them. Phantom Liberty looks insane and it plays nicely and the story is really good. So, I mean, I don't think it deserves best ongoing game, but they definitely did do a lot of work. Like, it should have been, Phantom Liberty should have been what Cyberpunk 2077 released as. Then it would have been deserving of an award at the Game Awards.
Yeah.
But with the state that it is, I feel like the DLC was a saving grace.
Hear me out.
Okay.
New category. Congrats, you fixed your crap award.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would work.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll be here next year talking about Starfield?
Oh, God, please don't.
I think
Please
it's
don't.
better to just forget that game exists.
Yeah. Oh, I do want to talk about Starfield.
Best ongoing game.
You sure?
At some point.
Starfield.
I do.
No, that'll win the fix your
Yeah, Fix Your Stuff Award would be great.
I almost saw just that.
Dude, there's going to be some good ones. Yeah, you almost had me the swear jar for a set there.
So we've talked a lot about AAA games. Now I want to kind of dial it back a little bit to indie.
Yep.
So I know indie is sort of like your area, Mav, so I'm excited to get your opinion on this.
Life is so stressful. Play a cozy game. Life is so stressful.
Cozy
Just
with
sit
a
down
Z.
and play a cozy game. It's like,
Exactly.
you want me to play CS:GO? You want me to play CS:GO, Valorant? I'm good. I'll just set me on a little cooking adventure and I'm good to go.
Your little Switch, your little blankie, your
easy.
cozy.
Just don't play Overcooked.
Oh, God.
That's not cozy. You know what I mean? That's not a cozy game.
There's always one person who takes it too seriously, man.
Yeah. Play a cozy game. Yeah, play CS:GO too.
So, Sea of Stars won Best Indie Game for 2023. So, Sea of Stars is a retro-styled RPG game centered around two heroes named Valerie and Zale, who use the power of the moon and the sun, respectively, to fight against creations of an evil alchemist. First of all, Mav, this game looks gorgeous. It's
beautiful.
like
It's really
pixel
well
art.
done. I didn't properly have it on my radar until Mark was like, this game is like unfathomably beautiful, and I was like, well, that's a saying I've not heard in a while. No, it's a really good game. It's a strong game, but it was very much what I noticed about it when I first started playing was you just get into it. There's no like there's no like 60 menu options. You don't have to change anything. You just get into it and play it, and I really enjoyed that about that game. And I felt that's what really helped with the success, because starting a new game, cozy games are normally known to just kind of you jump in, play a few hours, and then you get out, and then you're done.
Yeah.
Sea of Stars was really unique, and I think the art style really, really helped. It's like the vibrancy was perfect. It gave me kind of like Zelda vibes, like color scheme wise.
Yeah.
And I thought that obviously also helped it, but that was like a sleeper hit. That came out of nowhere.
Yeah, people are saying it reminds them of like Chrono Trigger kind of vibes
Yeah, I
with
can
the
see that,
with
yeah.
the art and stuff like that, which I think is really cool. But it did win the award and take it away from Viewfinder.
Viewfinder, which
Okay.
should have won.
All right, cool. Tell me
Should've
more.
won.
Tell me more.
Viewfinder was one of the most innovative games. Pause, get three.
Okay.
It was just something that like I saw it at WSD and I was like, that will win, and that has to win an award for something or other.
Okay.
It's so I don't know if you've
I've seen it, yeah.
So you take a picture, then the picture then goes into the world.
It becomes a part of like the terrain, yeah.
It's so mind blowing. And I was like, it makes Portal look like child's play.
Yeah.
Like it's so good, and it's a really good game too. There's an actual story. It's not just like only up where there's just like the unique selling point isn't just the fact that it's mind bending.
Yeah.
The unique selling point is it's got a story too. I really enjoyed that. I felt that was a bit more interesting than Sea of Stars, but I think Sea of Stars had the popularity that Viewfinder didn't.
Yeah, I'll
That's
agree
what I
with that.
think.
Yeah.
That's what I think happened.
I think Sea of Stars was hitting on kind of like this nostalgia vibe as well, right? Like it was designed intentionally to be an older style of game in a newer engine. And I think you've kind of seen people, stuff like Octopath Traveler, I think that showed that a few years ago, right? Like people really want those games.
Yeah.
And they don't come along as frequently outside of your remakes, which just isn't the same. Like things like Trials of Mana, right? Like just making some of the old games again. It's cool, but this was something fresh that felt like, what's the word I'm looking for? It was kind of a shout back to the glory days of this genre.
Oh, I do have to say, have you guys seen the Crazy Taxi reboot that got announced?
Dude.
Yeah.
Crazy Taxi, insane. There was also Jet Set Radio.
Okay.
I keep getting told about this game 24/7 that it's incredible. I never played it. It looks pretty funky. It looks very unique.
Yeah.
So curious to see what it's going to be. And I'm pretty sure they said that it's remakes, right? So it's not definitive editions, not remasters. We're going to get a new Crazy Taxi.
I
Screw
hope
the rest
so.
of those games.
I hope so. They're using Sonic as the blueprint, by the way. So they're going to be bringing out TV shows and movies based on these remakes. How is a Crazy
what?
Taxi movie going to look
That's
like,
going to be a
dude?
banger.
I do think if you're looking across the board, animated, live, whatever, the benchmark, like the one you aim to beat, still is Arcane.
Arcane.
Yes.
Without a
Yes.
doubt in my
Yes.
mind. I'm
Yeah.
a Dota guy. I've cast the group stage to the international. I still will I'm like, Total anime sucks compared to this. Like, Arcane is truly how, like, anyone who wants to make any sort of, TV series off a game should be taking notes on how Arcane welcomed people into their world.
For sure. So in a way then, I guess, the Cyberpunk TV series, I remember you said you watched it and then you were thinking about playing Cyberpunk again,
Yes.
right? Or maybe for the first
Yeah,
time, because it brought you back in. Maybe that's what Starfield needs. Starfield.
Yeah, we've had Interstellar.
Yeah, we've done that.
You know what I mean? We don't need it again. We had
Yeah.
Gravity, if you want to go that far. We had
Yeah.
Matt Damon on a planet for God knows how long.
Yeah.
You want
Yeah.
to put him through it again and put him on Starfield?
No, I've got it. What we do is we get a TV series of Starfield where the actors show the same range of emotion that the in-game characters do.
like that.
Like, we need to go and stop the planet before it explodes.
Or the money that they'd do that, or just give us what we want, and it's just a Fallout 3 and New Vegas remaster bundle. Oh, you know what I mean? Just do that.
Maybe
You know
actually
what I mean?
hire the New Vegas devs back so that the series can be
That
done
would
right.
great. But yeah, so Starfield, the first new universe that Bethesda has introduced in 25 years, is an action-based adventure game based in space, and you play as an asteroid miner who encounters a mysterious artifact that sends you on a vision quest. This was the most anticipated game of 2023, aside from Diablo 4, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Oh,
Is
boy.
this Starfield or Mass Effect? So
So
lost
what I
it.
took from
Limited.
that is they're going to wait another 25 years to make a new IP.
I don't
Yeah.
want one though. You know what I mean? If you
Yeah.
that's the problem. When you're like, oh yeah, we spent 25 years. Like Bethesda are still one of my favorite games. Like a game development company, they've made the best games. They made Fallout New Vegas for me, so they are like they can mess up a few more times.
Yep.
Okay.
I love the company. I love the games. That
But
they've
they
made.
also didn't rehire New Vegas as devs.
Yeah,
so.
but that's look, listen. I'm still praying, but listen, I think you can't be like, oh, this is the new universe in 25 years, and then release it, and then like it's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Elden Ring, you couldn't get off Twitter without seeing Elden Ring. Elden Ring was on bus shelters for crying out loud.
Yeah.
You know, you couldn't leave that. Starfield, they have all the hype in the world for it, and I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah. Well, one game studio that is looking after their game has to be Santa Monica Studios. The new God of War update that they dropped on us at the Game Awards. So Santa Monica Studios said, to show our appreciation for the incredible support and love you've given the game since its release last year, our team has been working on a surprise for the God of War community. As fans of our fans, we're thrilled to announce that on December 12th, we'll be releasing a free DLC as a gift to our players, God of War Ragnarok Valhalla. It's free. It's literally free, and it's a whole dedicated patch that follows on from Kratos' adventure.
It
You
looks
have a PlayStation now. You can play.
Listen, look, PlayStation
It's
PlayStation have been doing nothing but just winning at the minute. I don't see. Normally, people do free DLC. You know, cough cough. Cyberpunk, best ongoing game of the game. Awards.
we messed up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like they normally give away free stuff, and they know that they're messed up. So I don't know why they're giving away free stuff. And God of War was renowned, and that's one I've played no PlayStation game since PS2. So God of War I need to get into. I'm really excited, and when they release that, I'm like, great, another game I've got to avoid spoilers for.
Yeah.
Do they have cosmetics? They have I think they have extra things you can buy, right? Like cosmetics.
Like a microtransaction
Yeah,
store?
microtransaction.
I
not
don't
sure.
actually know.
Because that would make sense, right? Like, I think that's the reality of what we've seen here. Like, I always use Call of Duty as an example. If Call of Duty woke up one day and said we can make more money actually not selling our map packs at a price, instead of just adding in cosmetics,
I remember map
then you
packs.
know that it makes more money. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's one way they're making it. On the flip side, can I just point out, for everyone who's always like, I want this game on every platform. No, this is actually a justification for why having exclusives to different platforms is good. Because what this can be is this can be seen as a cost offset for Sony because their game is so damn good that people are now going to go buy a PS5. So in return, they're sitting here going, we'll give it to them for free because all it is it's it's a little taster to get you on the door.
I mean, honestly, personally, just seeing God of War, like God of War 3,
so good.
like I remember when I first saw that, like on YouTube for the first time, I remember vividly wanting to go and grab a PS5 just to play that game.
I disagree with console exclusivity big time, but that's a whole
I
different,
do
that's a
as
whole
well,
different
but, yeah.
topic. But yeah,
I mean, I get it, right? Like, and my point is that it's when it's kind of funneled in this way where it allows free DLCs, I'm a bit more in support of it. It sucks that there's games you can't play. Like, I was a PlayStation guy growing up. I didn't have an Xbox 360, which means never got to do the Fables, right? Big miss out for me, for sure.
That's sad.
Halo is something I only done in the last few years, right? Which means I can't fully appreciate how
You missed
great they were.
Reach?
You missed peak
I came
Halo?
back for Reach, you know, right? But on the flip side, I got peak Killzone. I still maintain Killzone as Killzone 3 is one of the best FPS. You're talking about direction and narrative. Killzone 3 is one of the best FPS experiences for that. Every single level is different. But plenty of Xbox people never had that. So I agree, it does suck. But also from like a financial standpoint, it makes sense, right? Like it shifts the
So
consoles.
they don't actually have microtransactions in God of War.
Interesting.
So Corey Barlog, the God of War director, said that he was not going to have any microtransactions, and it's also not going to have any post-release DLC.
Legend.
So that's why it's free. Because they
it was
would
meant
go
to be
against
one.
their word,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's really cool. That's like genuine like trust from what this guy is saying. He's made a statement saying we're not having microtransactions, we're not having paid DLC. So when they have created DLC to thank the players, it's free.
another win for Sony.
I know.
It feels like an unmarked Kickstarter goal that you've reached, right? It's like, we didn't have to do this, but you guys did stack up the millions in sales. So here you go.
Yeah. So yeah, God of War is absolutely doing incredible, and it will continue to do so. One game that didn't do so well. Are you ready? Diablo 4.
No, don't want to talk about it. I can't.
So Diablo 4, the 2023 Blizzard baby alongside Warcraft Rumble, of course. But Diablo 4, it's been 11 years since the last installment. Players have been waiting literally a decade for this new installment to come out. And what happened?
I think they
Waited too long.
Yeah, well then they should have made
They
it.
didn't capitalize on
I think they should have made a baker's dozen. I think they released too soon. The game was incomplete.
Yeah,
Like,
I can agree. If you're going to wait that long to develop and release a game,
do it properly, right?
do it properly.
But we did have Diablo Immortal.
Can you please leave the room?
Why are you smirking, Nate?
Just go that way.
out there, we'll take over. It's fine.
No, Diablo Immortal, and I will stand by this, it was a good game. They said it was going to be a mobile game. They released a mobile game.
It
They
did
had
what
Is-
it was, to be fair.
Is
I
this an
can
April
agree with
Fool's
that.
joke?
No, like I do agree with her. To be fair,
Yeah.
it did exactly what it was said on the tin. I think everyone just kind of like expected something from a mobile game that was never gonna come from a mobile game.
Yes.
Like they expected Diablo 4 from Diablo Immortal.
I haven't played a mobile game since Fallout Shelter,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
good game.
I feel like
Warcraft Rumble.
Yeah.
I feel like that was the problem though. I feel like they expected a Diablo 4 from Diablo Immortal, but it was never going to be that.
No, that's fair. I think like the tough part with Diablo is like legit. You can see what happened. They were this deep in development. They knew they weren't ready. It's very clear they weren't ready. They bragged a big game and they failed. One thing I will say, the marketing around Diablo 4 is the best marketing
Yeah.
I've seen in the game industry in 10 years.
Yeah.
Nothing has come close. I actually felt bad for the marketing department because I feel like the game development side let them down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
for
Right.
sure.
I mean, it's the same with like, because Blizzard, same with World of Warcraft. Like their art team, phenomenal. Hits the nail on the head every single time, and then all of a sudden, the game devs kind of drop the ball.
Yeah, they rehashed the same systems but changed it a little bit differently, and the story's not great, so we end up doing things that we don't want to do, and we meet characters that we don't care about, and then the big baddie comes along and we kill it, and it's like whoop-de-doo, next expansion.
Do you remember their names? No.
Jayla who? I don't know. But Yeah, I will say I saw Diablo 4's massive haul at BlizzCon, and oh my goodness, the whole
beautiful.
thing was like a cathedral. It was a
Yeah.
cathedral. You had fire pits, you had like luminous red lighting. It was all gothic and cathedral like.
They even had an altar where they were doing like sacrifices with like
Oh,
cultists.
yes.
It was really cool.
They literally had a cathedral in France which got painted out in Diablo style for launch, right?
Wow.
Like then they obviously had the city takeovers that everywhere, right? I think there was KFC done their own like
Yeah.
drink. It's crazy amount of marketing. The reality of what that game was though, that was Blizzard looking, seeing Path of Exiles 2 now had a release date,
Yes.
and then hitting the panic button instantly, right? That's all that was. And it's so heartbreaking because it does a lot of things right. I hadn't played Diablo games before. I played a little bit of free, right? But I played a lot of Poe. I played Torchlight, Sacred 2, still one of the best games of all time in that category. And I wanted this to succeed. It done a lot of things right. Art style, really cool. Admittedly, a bit too dark at times. The feel to the combat was the best I have experienced in an ARPG. You could feel the weight behind any ability. But the reality is, one, I think it lacked a little bit in depth when it came to skill tree. I would have loved one extra branch.
Yeah.
Two, its story midway through sucked. It got slow for no reason.
There was a story.
Just lacked substance.
It did, right? Like the end was really cool. I like that cinematic towards the like tail end. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. It's like it's one of the best cinematics in Blizzard's entire arsenal. Full stop.
Seriously?
Seriously.
And it's at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lilith versus I've forgotten his name. Begins with you. Anyway, basically, it's the big fight. Incredibly well like choreographed. Good narrative. Great. But the mid game is like you do chapter 1 and chapter 2, and then you just run around the map with no
Yeah.
real
Yeah.
feel.
That's what happened to me. I did the chapter 1, chapter 2, and then I
just didn't
stopped playing. Yeah, because I was just hitting. It's funny that you say that the combat felt great because like I basically did no combat, did no damage in combat. Then I read a guide. Then I was
yeah.
killing things. So for me, it was just kind of like, oh, I just clicked the wrong things. I had there was no weight behind my choices when it came to talents. It was just kind of like ding dong, ding, and then go.
A really fair point to address is the defense I keep seeing for Diablo 4 not having enough content. Path of Exiles has been out for 10 years. Of course it's not going to have as much content. Yeah, okay, that doesn't matter. If I brought like a PC now versus 10 years ago, right? Like the argument isn't going to be I need like 10 years of patches to match that 10-year-old PC's performance. I want it to be up to scratch for what's now. And the reality is they had 11 years of development.
Yeah.
And it's not even scratching what Poe offers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing they did do good though was the design. Like we've said it again
Oh, yeah.
and again. The design looked absolutely phenomenal. I really want to talk about Liza P. So Liza P nominated for Best RPG and Best Art Direction. It is a Souls-like action RPG game developed by NeoWiz Games and Round 8 Studio, and it takes on the story of Pinocchio, but turns it on its head and sets it against the darkly elegant backdrop of the Belle Epoque era. Mav, have you had any experience with Liza P?
No, so I stay away from Souls like game. I think it's a bit of a red flag if someone's good at a Souls game. I don't know why you want to put yourself through that. I'm not gonna lie. No interest in being like an Elden Lord. I just don't. Life's tough, man.
Yeah,
you know
it
what
is.
I mean?
Why put
Why
yourself
would
through
you
it?
want to do that when there's other games that exist?
Yeah.
So I haven't played
Maybe.
it, but just because I haven't played it doesn't mean I can't enjoy it. I've enjoyed watching people play it. I like watching people play Souls like games because I get to see them struggle.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, you know what, my life ain't too bad. You know, this person's been trying to kill this boss for the 9th time. I'm okay, and it's good to have on because you don't have to eagle eye watch it all the time. So it's nice to
Yeah.
have on in the background. And Liza P's actually been one I keep rewatching. Actually, I love the art in it. I think
It is
I
beautiful.
think the art is great. I think it's unique as well. It's,
Sure, yeah.
I was a little bit glad it didn't win. I felt like it should have won one thing, but then something that my friend told me about Souls likes. Obviously, I haven't played it, and they mentioned that the game's a good game, and you take it out of the Souls like genre because when you play it differently to any Souls like game, it's a little bit more entertaining, and because obviously you don't die as quickly as you do in Elden Ring, and if you play it slightly different, it's a little bit more enjoyable.
That's what put me off. Like, I loved the art style of it. It's, by the way, I don't know how it didn't win Best Art, but that's that. But the design looks incredible, well at my street. But I suck at Souls games so hard. I bought Elden Ring, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't get out of the main area with the big dude on the horse because he kept finding me and killing me. And I'm gutted because I miss out. I've never played Dark Souls. I've played, what's the one that if you put your finger on the circle of the disc, it looks like a butt? Bloodborne.
Why are you thinking? You could have went for so many different reasons why it was Bloodborne.
Yeah.
But okay.
It went viral. Have you not seen it?
No.
Bloodborne disc art, right? Because on a disc it has a circle in the middle, right?
I am aware of this. Yeah.
If you put your thumb on the middle of the circle, it looks like he's got
Okay.
a butt. Okay. Anyways, I'm
However
sure
you
everyone else
catalog your
knows
games,
what it
okay,
is.
like
Okay,
you're
so-
like hype looking art,
disc
anus disc.
No, but like played a little bit of Bloodborne, loved it, but was awful at it, so I couldn't play it, couldn't enjoy the game, couldn't enjoy the story, nothing. Dark Souls never touched it for the same reason, and Lies of P I would have avoided as well if you hadn't said that about Souls.
I need to give it a go. I was gonna play it. I was gonna play it on the train today.
With Lies of P as well, I was watching this one guy called Lena, Korean streamer, play it. And I was like, oh, I love the art style. It looks amazing. The other thing I noticed is compared to a Souls game, it has this this more clear jump between monotonous, easy enemies.
Yeah.
And this is about to kill you, right? Which is very intriguing because it just catches you off guard in a different way. Whereas like Dark Souls games is more about not deception, but your lack of attention, right?
Yeah.
This is like, oh, you're vibing? Let me just crank that difficulty right up to
Dark Souls, that difficulty is just always there.
Yeah. But I do love, so to that point as well, actually, if you tried Bloodborne, you probably tried the most unforgiving one. Souls, a lot easier because you just roly-poly all the time, right?
Yeah.
But what about Elden Ring? Where would you rank that?
I still haven't gone through Elden Ring, admittedly.
Elden Ring's really
I need to find
I
time
had
for it, but I
people,
know it's going to be a lot of time.
I had people watch me play Elden Ring, and they were just like, every time I'd go to an enemy and I would like roll and then move and then hit, and I would die, and they'd be like, "Why would you press that button?" Like, I don't know, man. Like, I just press the buttons. and
The
hope
rolls
for
are
the
a part.
People
of
like
it.
learn the roles. I'm like, what do you think I'm doing?
I'm literally constantly rolling. You know what you need to do? The trick there is you just play it on a dance mat.
Or with your brain. Did you see,
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
The creator that hooked up
Yes.
to the brain.
Yeah.
It was like moves an eyebrow and it like stabs. I'm like, well, I can't do that with a full hand. My brain, there's not much going on up there. I don't think I can put together the movement to take out a boss.
That's
but
amazing.
Imagine if you had like the emotional range of a Starfield character, right? You wouldn't be able to play the game at all. Sorry,
you better get off the menu.
Starfield's still getting strays.
I mean, it is the biggest disappointment of 2023.
The interesting thing with that as well.
King Kong came out.
Oh, dude, I've
And
heard
the day
that's-
before came out, which is a big surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we need time to digest just how bad that is, right? They probably made 2 hours of content for you to get through.
There's not enough to digest, honestly.
In terms of fun ways to play games, though, one of my favorites to this day, I can't remember his name, Australian content creator. He plays Overwatch in weird ways. Like, he done Diva with like joysticks.
Oh yeah.
Best one he's ever done. He hooks up a bunch of bananas and plays as Winston, the gorilla.
Oh, I've seen
What?
that.
So he's thumping bananas.
Have you actually on that same like train of thought? Have you ever watched the guy who plays WoW with it's like remotes, like Wii remotes? He'll like stand there and he'll spellcast by like just going. Whoosh.
No.
Yeah.
Dude.
Really?
Yeah.
That's my dream come true. I would have.
It's so cool. He stands up. He's on stream, like the camera's in front of him. You can see him standing. And he's just sitting there. He like cosplays and everything. He goes. Whoosh.
You could feel like a wizard, Harry.
Moving on, I have a burning question for you, Mav. Do you actually care about the fact that Venba won Best Debut and Games for Impact over the other nominations?
It was Tachia, right? Tachia was the... I'm probably butchering it.
Yes.
So I played that. That's great. I didn't know about Venba until after the awards, and someone on stream was they were talking about Venba, and then I looked at it and I had seen it before. I just didn't. I had never seen it again. I saw it on something when I was looking for games, and it looks amazing and it looks so great. So I can't attest to that, but Tachia that game was absolutely beautiful. Like you can turn to animals.
Well,
and stuff.
what's the shit?
So basically, it's I dubbed it as Moana game.
Oh, you got a smirk. This guy over here is a huge Moana fan. He can actually do the entire rap from Moana.
I love Moana, dude.
Yeah.
Should we get to talk about Moana?
Yes, let's go.
It's basically like, that's what I dubbed it as, like, it was like a little bit of a hook to get people in. And it's beautiful. It's just a really, really lovely, cozy game. It's like, how can I compare it very, very broadly? Zelda, but just so much more beautiful. It's like a lot of physics. So you can like climb a tree, you can like launch yourself. It's great. And it's a really good game.
Climb a tree, launch yourself.
Yeah, but
That's all I've wanted to do.
Yeah. Well, that's
Reliving
exactly what I
Jack
wanted.
Sparrow's memories, mate.
But whilst I liked that, I love the idea of Venba. So maybe if I played Venba, I would have a different outlook on it. The idea of like getting to know like a family and all the cooking aspects is right up my street.
Yeah, Venba was basically like, it's kind of like Overcooked / Cookie Mama. So it's a short narrative cooking game where you play as an Indian mum who immigrated to Canada with her family in the 1980s, and players cook various dishes and restore lost recipes, hold branching conversations, and explore the story of family, love, loss, and more. So yeah, it reminds me of like mashing up Cooking Mama. There's maybe a little bit of challenge with the cooking, so Overcooked comes to mind. Great game, by the way. Play it with your mates. You will find out who they are and who they're not.
I just think even when you break it down, even when you so one of us got called out, and we all know who it was. No, I think even when you break down Venba like that, it's very clear that they set out on a goal to tell a story.
Yeah.
And if they did it with respect and good research, then hopefully, it won the award. So I would assume that would be out. I just like to cheer it as a nice, cozy, calming game. But,
You like cozy
but that's
games?
just because I've played it. So maybe it'd be different if I played Venba. So I'll let you know in a little bit.
Yeah, all right. Well, give us a lowdown.
Yeah, I much
on how
prefer
that is.
Venba. Yeah.
Well, Company of Heroes 3 was nominated for Best Strategy, but it didn't win, did it, KP?
No, the fact that Company Heroes 3 was nominated for Best Strategy shows you how desperate they were to find strategy games this year. This is a developer that's stuck in a loop of just regurgitating and releasing stuff that doesn't work. And Ko3 is just the last on a long list. And I don't know, man. Maybe this is just because it's the popularity logic, right? More people like to jump Company Heroes 3. But I genuinely believe if you bothered to look, there was probably easily 10 strategy games that were more worth a nomination this year than Company Heroes.
So the games that were nominated, just to refresh our minds, was Pikmin 4, Fire Emblem Engage, Company Heroes 3, City Skylines, and Advance Wars 1 plus Reboot Camp.
I mean, people like the Advance Wars. It's a turn-based game.
Yeah. Have you ever played Pikmin 4?
I played the very first Pikmin
GameCube!
on the GameCube,
Hell
yeah. And then didn't touch a single one of them.
That bad, huh? That bad.
You don't fancy Pikmin 4? It's one of the best strategy game now.
There
So.
you go.
I mean, maybe it's time to pick it back up.
Yeah, pick it back
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Come on, man.
All right, so to round off our discussion, I want to go in deep with the burns. Tell me, what is the worst game of 2023?
Starfield. Starfield.
Now, are you sure? Because there's plenty of options.
So, the top 3 on my list, easily. Starfield, Diablo 4. Sorry, Blizzard.
You're not.
He is.
Please sponsor me.
Okay.
And what was the other mess that just blew up? Days Before, or whatever it's called.
The
Day Before.
Yeah, that
Oh,
one.
I thought he was going
No,
to go.
but see, I
King
don't
Kong.
think we can include that because if you had 5 brain cells, you knew it was never going to come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Looking forward to the
like-
comment section.
Okay,
so
if you have to pick one, what would it
Starfield,
be?
yeah.
Starfield. KP, what's your worst game of 2023?
Alright, I'll quickly do a run out of him. Like Starfield, Diablo, definitely up there. I think Hogwarts Legacy deserves a lot more shade thrown at it for being so bland and empty, honestly. And then Payday 3 for almost killing one of a very long-running franchise. Like Payday 3 literally took everything Payday 2 done and dumped it in the dirt to the point that Payday 2 has many more players once again than Payday 3. But of those four, yeah, Starfield. Starfield really, they deserve worst game of the year award. Sadly,
Yeah.
I think Game Awards is trying to be a bit more positive.
I agree. Yep.
Mav,
I
what?
don't agree with Starfield. Starfield was a massive disappointment, and I didn't like it one bit. I think I've got like 4 hours on it, and even when I watch it, it's boring. I think you can't group it with like you had King Kong, you had Gollum, you had.
See, I don't even
Of the
remember
games we
those
played, though, we
games.
knew, like similar to your whole argument a second ago, those are games we knew we weren't going to play.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like
The disappointment was already there.
I genuinely put one of my worst games of the year was Grey Hill Incident because I love aliens and I really wanted a good alien game, and then this game looked phenomenal, and it is the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. So as a joke, I put that because I think that is the worst game for me of the year because I was so excited for it. But yeah, I think listen, if we're talking generally, yeah, it'll either be Gollum or King Kong. The Day Before doesn't count. Starfield, some people enjoy it, so I'm not gonna like everyone hated Gollum and King Kong. No, there was not one person that was like, you know what, I kind of like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So around the board, we can't really agree on Starfield, can we? Because you don't think Starfield should take the worst. I'm trying to come to unanimous.
It's definitely fighting it.
decision.
It's fighting for it. They're definitely fighting for
They're
it.
definitely
but I
there.
just think that some people enjoyed Starfield.
Yeah.
Like,
I
some of our
mean,
friends
the
have.
reason I can't put like King Kong or Gollum there is just because I was like
You were gonna
before
play
they
it.
released, I was already disappointed in them.
Yeah.
All right, Dad.
Really didn't rate Gollum's performance in Lord of the Rings 3.
Yeah. You hate it. You scared of Gollum?
Been holding on to
What
this
did
for
Gollum do?
years.
The Gollum gave me nightmares, honestly.
But the reality is that those games, you could see them coming a mile off. They were going to suck.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. But that's fair. Yeah.
Starfield, I didn't think it was going to be great, but I thought it would be passable, and it ended up being.
I mean, it disappointed me
Solid.
similarly to No Man's Sky on release.
yeah.
Well, it was statistically the most anticipated game of 2023. So I think it's fair to say, Starfield, you have taken the biggest flop of 2023. But I have one final question for you guys. No pressure. But as seasoned gamers, I would love you to share your wisdom and advice to the people at home. What game would you recommend people play and pick up over the holiday season?
Well, the holiday season's all about friends and family and cramming as many as many things into your day as humanly possible. I think Party Animals is definitely because look, you tell your nan, you tell your mum, you can be a crocodile and punch a panda, and they'll be like, what?
Yep.
Party Animals is a great game.
Yeah.
For you can play football. Crying out loud. So I think I would go. It's like a party multiplayer game. It should have won the award. Baldur's Gate 3 won. Don't know how that won. Party Animals is a game that I played the beta when it came out like a year ago, and then they took it away from us. But I still I had to send over feedback, and I was angry that they had no raccoons in the game, and that was the feedback.
No
And-
trash
It-
pandas?
No, Are they putting
I
it
said,
in?
No, I don't think so. I said no raccoons, and their feedback was like, anything else? I was like, no, that's it.
Just no raccoons.
This
Raccoons are
would
literally
be
the-
Baldur's Gate Game of the Year awards.
Raccoons are literally the best party animal.
Let me
Have they?
let me show you my Instagram Explore page after this.
Oh, it's exciting. KP, what would you suggest?
It's going to be the obvious option, but there's a really good reason behind it. It's Baldur's Gate. So let's be real about this, right? I actually, I don't disagree with the decision it got the reward. I think it deserved it for a wider reason. I remember the backlash that came out when Baldur's Gate first came out. This whole idea that gamers shouldn't expect that. That's not realistic. There were developers genuinely copping out of making good games by saying that what they've done here is rare. What they've done there is they had a vision for a game and they didn't compromise on it. They believed as a team they could deliver and they didn't take no for an answer in a time when most games we're seeing created outside of indie games that can maybe afford that risk.
Good point. And finally, Nate.
Now I could go for the cop-out answer of Baldur's Gate 3,
Here we go.
considering
I
it
wanna
one
change
game
my
of
answer
the
from Party Animals to whatever that was.
considering it one game of the year. Could go into many reasons why, but
If you say World of Warcraft, I will take the mic away.
now I feel like I should say that because of bias, but I'm going to go ahead and go with the just released Ragnarok, or what is it?
God of War.
Valhalla, that's it.
Yeah.
It's good when you
close
know.
enough.
I mean, play Ragnarok too.
Yeah, play Ragnarok too. Play all of them, honestly.
Now, I want to add my little thing in really quickly.
Yeah.
I think, and this is what I thought you were going for, but you didn't. You've let me down. the newly released, better than God of War,
Whoa.
better than what you said, Lethal Company. Now, Lethal Company is a co-op horror survival in a sort of 8-bit style, kind of low-res, poly kind of vibe. It's great, super scary if you're playing with some mates, but it's got mod support. So you can literally change the way that the game plays depending on what mods you want to use. It's brilliant. So it's also like pretty cheap on Steam, so go and have a play with that. If you grab some mates. Enjoy some fun.
You guys
That's
have
a fair
mates?
shout. No. You just find random people.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Thank God for that.
When mum and dad come in,
Abduct them.
when mum and dad come in, and like you don't know the people, like, yeah, I'm playing with my mates.
Nan, sit down. Nan, sit down. You're going to be playing Lethal Company. Yeah, I'll try that out, Christmas.
None definitely shouldn't be playing Lethal Company.
That's a cool shout though, because it's kind of like BattleBit was, right, where everyone's hyped for at the moment. So,
Yeah.
you might be onto something.
There's the thing with games is that these little games, they come little and often, right? So who knows whether Lethal Company is going to be around next year? We don't know. No. You know, we didn't think Fall Guys was going to be around, and it's still kicking. It's all of these games, all of these games that come out, they pop out every now and then. Phasmo's a good example, and they still remain relevant. So whether or not that'll be here next year, we don't know. But pick it up, play it while it's hot. It's a super, super great game. But on that note, gentlemen, it has been an amazing time chatting with you about the Game Awards 2023. Make sure to go and check these guys out over on their socials and on their content pages, all listed in the description below. But yeah, that's it from us at Scan Computers. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos just like this. And we'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye!